the last night before his martyrdom, he saw Aqal in the dream. And Aqal informed him that we are waiting for you and you will meet us tomorrow in the Jannah. So he knew this. So at every single step he knew that he's going to be martyred in the land of Karbala. So he embraced this Shahada happily. And he embraced this Shahada, fulfilling the promises that he made with Aqal salam. And to protect the religion of Aqal salam, and to save the Quran and the Sunnah of Aqal salam. So that was his sacrifice that he made for the Islam. Hazrat Abbas, who was the uncle of Aqal salam, and who was still a disbeliever, he hadn't embraced Islam yet. He was still a disbeliever, but he was brought as a captive, as a prisoner of the war of Badr. And he was there in Medina Sharif, and he was crying because he was elderly and he was tied in the chains. So he was crying because of the pain. And Aqal salam would hear that pain and could not sleep through the night. And the next morning when people woke up, he paid ransom for Hazrat Abbas and liberated him. That was his mercy, that he felt the pain of his own uncle, even though he was non-Muslim at that point. But what would be the level of his pain when he was witnessing his own grandson, Hazrat Imam Hussain, who was most beloved for him. Most beloved, that even if he would sit on his back when he was in sajda, he would prolong the sajda for Imam Hussain. And if Imam Hussain would come and he was delivering the khutbah of Jumatul Mubarak, which is part of the worship, and one is not allowed to even talk the worldly talk during that, he would leave the khutbah and go and lift Imam Hussain and put him in his lap. That was the love of Aqal Islam for Imam Hussain Anhu. So what would be the level of his pain and grief when Imam Hussain was being martyred, and all of his family were being martyred mercilessly in the land of Karbala. Those who basically made this event happen and who killed, martyred Imam Hussain, and also captured all of his family and honorable ladies of the Ahlul Bayt, and made them sit on the back of the camels, and they were made to go around in the streets of Kufa and Iraq as well. It was aziyat and pain for Aqal Islam, definitely. And Holy Quran says, those who give adiyat and pain to Aqal Islam and Almighty Allah, Allah has cursed them in this dunya and the life hereafter as well. So they are definitely cursed and mal'oon, Allah says. So they have been cursed by Almighty Allah. For that reason they say, Yazid, who was the reason for all of this happening, that happened in the land of Karbala, he was definitely cursed. And for that reason, Hazrat Allama Umar Nasafi, he wrote a book of Aqaid, which was explained by Allama Taftazani, Sharu Aqaid, which that book mentions that he says that we do not have any hesitance in declaring that he was mal'oon, definitely, and we also have no hesitance in declaring that he was a kafir. Yazid was free, he was basically without iman, he was devoid of iman. And he, فَلَعَنَةُ اللَّهِ عَلَيْهِ وَعَلَىٰ أَنصَارِهِ وَأَعْوَانِهِ. So Allah's curse be upon him and all those who supported him and who were his allies. So he says that this is the Aqeedah of Al-Sunnah wal Jama'ah. We curse him and we do not refrain from cursing the Yazid, because he killed the most beloved grandson of Aqal Islam. Aqal Islam used to say that Humara Rihana Tahi min ad-dunya wal akhirah. These are my beloveds, and so he said these are my Huma abnaya. He said these are my sons and sons of my daughter. And Allahumma inni uhibbuhuma. Oh Allah, I love them, and so you love them as well. And wa uhibba ma yuhibbuhuma, and also love the ones who love these two. So loving them was a criteria for being a believer and mu'min. So that's how great the status of Imam Hussain was in the court of Aqal Islam. And Almighty Allah has said in the Quran that Inna Allah ma'as sabirin, that ista'inu bis-sabri was-salah, Inna Allah ma'as sabirin, that seek help and assistance in the court of Allah from the sabr and the salah. Two things. And Allah will be with the sabirin. So he declared two things, reason for getting assistance and proximity and qurb of Almighty Allah. That is sabr and the salah. But then he said Allah, He will be with the sabirin, the ones who practice the patience. Because on the land of Karbala, Allah declared this because He knew that on the land of Karbala, on one hand, there will be family of Hazrat Imam Hussain and his other allies and people who are loyal to Imam Hussain radiallahu ta'ala anhu. And on the other hand, there will be the army of Yazid. They will both be Musallin. They will both be offering the prayers. So on the day of Karbala, there were azan being done in the army of Yazid as well. They were reading prayers as well. They were offering namaz. And on this end, Imam Hussain was also offering namaz. But Allah says, I'm going to be with Sabirin, the ones who practice patience, because he knew that Musallin are on this side as well, and on that side as well. But he said, I am going to be with the ones who practice patience. So therefore Imam Hussain, when he finally displayed, the sabr at the highest level, when he took the sabr to the highest level and the sacrifice to his peak, and Shahada also was taken to its ultimate pinnacle. And at that time, Hazrat Imam Ali Raza was asked by his son, Ya Abati, how many wounds were there on the day? How many wounds were there on the body of Imam Hussain when he was martyred in the land of Karbala? He said the wounds were equal in the number of the verses of Holy Quran, huruf of Holy Quran. As many huruf are there in Holy Quran, as many wounds Hazrat Imam Hussain received on the land of Karbala, because he was there to protect the Quran and protect the Shariat of Islam and Islam.